Don't try to prove yourself.
Open your mind to new possibilities. In a world that constantly asks us to prove, we begin to forget who we really are. We chase approval. We crave recognition. We measure our worth by others' applause. But the more we try to prove, the more we lose ourselves. The endless race. Society sets invisible races. More success, more wealth, more likes, more praise. We run and run, but there is no finish line. A man earns a promotion. He feels proud for a week. Then the hunger returns. Another title, another raise. His life is not lived, it is chased. Proving versus living. There is a difference between living with purpose and living for approval. When you live with purpose, your actions come from within. When you live for approval, your actions are controlled by others. A young artist who paints for her soul finds freedom. But once she paints only for likes and sales, her gift becomes her prison. The illusion of proving. No matter how much you prove, it is never enough. There will always be someone richer, smarter, prettier, stronger. Chasing comparison is chasing a shadow. You can never catch it. A student who scores 9 feels proud, until she sees a classmate with 9.5. Joy disappears, because her worth is borrowed from others. Living without proving. True strength is quiet. It does not need applause. The wise live with authenticity, not performance. They do not shout who they are. They simply are. A tree does not prove its worth by shouting, "I am strong." It proves it by standing tall through every storm. Stop exhausting yourself in proving. Start empowering yourself in living. Because the world does not need another performance. It needs your authenticity. No one is born with the need to prove. A child laughs freely, cries freely, dreams freely. The child does not care about approval. So where does the need to prove come from? The search for validation. As we grow, we learn that approval brings reward. Good grades bring praise. Obedience brings love. Obedience brings love. Achievement brings applause. Slowly, we connect our worth. Not to who we are, but to what others see in us. A child draws a picture. At first, she enjoys it. But when praised, she learns. It matters only if others like it. The fear of not being enough. Deep inside, many carry a fear, I am not enough. To silence that fear, we try to prove through work, wealth, beauty, or status. But proving is never enough. Because the fear never ends. A businessman earns millions, but still feels poor compared to billionaires. His proving becomes a prison. Social comparison. Comparison fuels the cycle of proving. Social media intensifies it every picture. Every success, every highlight becomes a mirror. Instead of asking, "Am I happy?" we ask, "Am I better than them?" A woman enjoys her vacation until she sees her friend's vacation looks more luxurious. Her joy fades, replaced by insecurity. Comparison is the thief of joy. Theodore Roosevelt. The hidden cost of proving yourself may win applause, but it costs peace. It may bring recognition, but it steals authenticity. It may give you moments of pride, but it leaves you empty inside. An actor who lives only for applause feels lost. When the curtain falls, without proving, he feels invisible. Be yourself, everyone else is already taken. Oscar Wilde. The truth is, you are enough. Not because others approve, but because you exist. The journey ahead is not about proving, but about returning to yourself. Yet, even when we know this truth, the cycle of proving still pulls us in. We want to stop, but somehow, we keep running. Why? Because proving is not just a habit, it becomes a trap. And the more we prove, the deeper we fall into it. The trap of proving At first, proving feels rewarding. A compliment gives joy. A like gives satisfaction. A promotion gives pride. But slowly, without realizing it, proving turns into a prison. An invisible trap that tightens every time. We chase approval. The endless hunger. The problem with proving is this: it is never enough. Each success feeds you for a moment, then hunger returns. You run faster, work harder, achieve more. Yet the emptiness grows. A top student feels relief after scoring highest. But next exam, the pressure doubles. Her worth feels tied to constant proving. We are not what we have. And we are not what we do. We are much deeper than that. Henry knew. Losing authenticity. To keep proving, you begin to act. Not from truth, but from expectation. You wear masks, you hide flaws. You perform instead of live. The trap of proving is that you stop being yourself. A man laughs loudly at jokes he does not find funny, just to fit in. His smile wins approval, but costs authenticity. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Exhaustion and anxiety. Living to prove is living under pressure. You fear losing status, losing respect, losing attention. The applause that once lifted you now enslaves you. A successful influencer feels anxious every day. What if my next post fails? Success no longer brings joy, only fear of falling. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. Marcus Aurelius. Proving leads to dependency. When your worth depends on proving, you become dependent on others' approval. You let others decide if you are good, worthy, lovable. Your happiness lives in their hands, not yours. A young woman deletes her photo because it got fewer likes. Her joy depends not on her heart, but on strangers' approval. The invisible prison. The trap of proving is an invisible prison. It gives you moments of pride, but chains you with fear. It offers applause, but takes away peace. It promises freedom, but delivers slavery. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. The more you try to prove, the more trapped you become. The way out is not in louder applause, but in deeper authenticity. You are not here to perform. You are here to live. But how do we break free from this invisible prison? If proving only tightens the chains, then what can set us free? The answer lies in authenticity. Because if proving is a prison, authenticity is freedom. The freedom of authenticity. To live authentically is to live without masks, without fear, without performance. It is to stand in the world as you are, and know that it is enough. Authenticity is the doorway to peace, love, and true freedom. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Oscar Wilde. Authenticity restores peace. When you are authentic, you stop the exhausting game of proving. You no longer live for others' approval. You live for your own truth. A teacher stops chasing titles and focuses on her love for students. She feels lighter, freer, more fulfilled. Honesty and transparency make you vulnerable. Be honest and transparent anyway. Mother Teresa. Authenticity attracts real connection. When you are authentic, you attract those who love the real you. You no longer need to keep proving to stay loved. Love that comes from performance is fragile. Love that comes from authenticity is unbreakable. A man once hid his struggles to appear strong. When he opened up honestly, he found deeper friendships and true support. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Carl Jung. Authenticity brings clarity and strength. When you are authentic, your decisions align with your values. You stop chasing what looks good and start pursuing what feels right. Authenticity gives strength because you no longer fight yourself. A woman quits a high-paying job she hates and starts a small business she loves. She earns less, but her life feels richer. At the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are and you know what you want. Lao Tzu. The courage to be authentic. Authenticity requires courage, because the world may not always approve. But courage grows when you realize peace is worth more than applause. The wise choose truth over performance. And in truth, they find freedom. An interest singer chooses to sing songs that reflect her soul. Even if they sell leaseth, they find freedom. Her music becomes timeless, because it is real. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Nelson Mandela. The freedom of authenticity is this. You stop running, stop proving, stop pretending. You live simply, honestly, fully. And that kind of life is a freedom no applause can ever give. But authenticity is not always easy. To be real in a world that rewards performance takes courage. The next step is learning to choose truth even when fear whispers otherwise. This is the courage to stop proving. The courage to stop proving. Stopping the cycle of proving is not weakness. It is courage. It takes courage to say, I don't need to perform. I choose to be real. Because the world rewards performance. But your soul longs for truth. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. E. Cummings. Courage to face fear. Behind proving lies, fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of being invisible. Fear of not enough. To stop proving, you must face these fears, not hide from them. A woman fears being alone, so she proves by always pleasing others. One day, she dares to say no. The fear remains, but her freedom begins. Do the thing you fear and the death of fear is certain. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Courage to disappoint others. When you stop proving, not everyone will understand. Some will be disappointed. Some will criticize. Some will leave. It takes courage to accept this and still choose yourself. A young man refuses a career chosen by his parents and follows his passion. He loses approval, but gains authenticity. Courage to stand alone. Sometimes authenticity means standing alone. But standing alone in truth is better than standing together in lies. True courage is not the absence of loneliness, but the strength to be real even in loneliness. A leader makes an unpopular decision because it is right. For a moment, he stands alone. Later, his courage inspires others. The man who has the courage to stand alone is the man who truly finds freedom unknown. Courage grows with practice. Courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Start small. Say what you mean, even if your voice shakes. Admit your weakness, even if it feels risky. Each small act of authenticity builds greater courage for the next. Today, choose one moment to be authentic. Tomorrow, choose two. Day by day, courage becomes natural. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. Eleanor Roosevelt. The courage to stop proving is not about rejecting the world. It is about reclaiming yourself. It is saying, I am not here to impress. I am here to live. And when you dare to stop proving, you begin to live in freedom. But courage is only the beginning. Once you dare to stop proving, the question becomes, how do you actually live without it? Living without proving is not about giving up effort. It is about living from truth, not fear. This is the next step on the journey. Living without proving. To live without proving is not to live without effort. It means your effort comes from truth, not from fear. It is living from the inside out, not from the outside in. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Oscar Wilde. Know your values. When you know what matters most to you, you stop chasing what matters to others. Values guide you more strongly than applause. A doctor chooses to work in a rural area. She earns less, but her value is service, not status. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Steve Jobs. Practice self. Living without proving begins with accepting yourself as you are. You are not perfect and you don't need to be. When you embrace flaws, you stop hiding. When you stop hiding, you start living. A speaker admits he is nervous before a talk. Instead of losing respect, the audience connects with him more. Owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing we'll ever do. Brené Brown. Choose authenticity in daily life. Living without proving is not a one-time act. It is a daily choice. Say what you mean. Do what you love. Admit what you feel. Every honest act makes life lighter. A friend cancels dinner because she is tired, not inventing an excuse. Her honesty strengthens the friendship. In a world where you can be anything, be yourself, unknown. Redefine success. Success is not in proving yourself to the world. It is in living a life true to your values. Measure life not by applause, but by peace, love, and growth. A father leaves work early to play with his child. To some, it looks like failure. To him, it is his greatest success. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. Albert Schweitzer. Daily practice. Each day, ask yourself, am I living to prove or am I living to be true? Choose one action today that comes from truth, not fear. Over time, these choices shape a new way of living. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle. To live without proving is to breathe freely, walk lightly, love deeply. It is the art of living from within, authentic, peaceful, complete. This is the life you are meant to live. And when you live this way, a new kind of joy arises. Not from applause, not from proving, but from simply being yourself. This is the joy of simply being. The joy of simply being. There is a deep joy in simply being yourself. Not proving, not performing, not pretending. Just being calm, real, free. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. Dalai Lama. The lightness of authenticity. When you stop proving, life feels lighter. You no longer carry the heavy weight of others' expectations. You walk freely, because you walk as yourself. A student stops competing for top rank and begins learning for curiosity. Study turns from stress to joy. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Carl Jung. The beauty of real connection. When you live as yourself, you attract those who value the real you. Relationships deepen because they are built on truth, not performance. You no longer fear losing love, because real love does not leave when applause stops. A woman shows her vulnerability to her closest friend. Instead of rejection, she receives deeper trust. Love is the only reality, and it is not a mere sentiment. It is the ultimate truth that lies at the heart of creation. Rabindranath Tagore. The joy of inner peace. When you are no longer chasing approval, your heart rests. Peace replaces anxiety. Gratitude replaces emptiness. Presence replaces performance. A man sits quietly at sunset, not thinking about proving anything. In that moment, he feels richer than ever. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Buddha. The fullness of being. Joy does not come from becoming someone else. Joy comes from being fully yourself. Being is enough. You are enough. When you live in this truth, life itself feels like a gift. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do not waste your life proving. Live it instead. Because the greatest joy is not in applause. It is in authenticity. The freedom, the peace, the love you seek. They are found not in proving, but in being. Don't try to prove yourself, just be yourself. That is enough. The purpose of life is not to be someone else, but to be fully alive as yourself, unknown. Thank you for watching until the end. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, please subscribe, like, and share to support the channel. I promise to bring you even more motivational and inspiring content in the upcoming videos.